And one of the things that I want to talk about, and that's why I wore this shirt, this is from Livin, who's a charity, works with mental health, is talk about your journey with mental health. Because for me, who's someone who's had their own issues, all that type of stuff, as most people have, I'm a big believer in that everyone has had something or will have something in the future or is dealing with it currently. I wanted us to hear about, I wanted to sit back and listen to what you had to say about all that entire topic when it comes to mental health.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm typical of many Australians, and particularly most Australian men. I didn't think I'd ever be mentally ill. Simple as that. I thought I wasn't one of those people. I always thought I was well, mentally particularly, physically well. I looked after myself. I didn't abuse my body. I liked to drink, probably in excess at times, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then at 37 years of age, I have a complete meltdown. I have a complete breakdown, which I don't see coming. And so that changes my life, and it did.
That thought, the word mentally ill, like, I don't think that, and maybe I'm off with this type of stuff, I think there's such a spectrum when it comes to the word mentally ill. Yeah. Because the same idea for someone who has panic attacks, they're mentally ill. And then someone on the other side of the spectrum who is hearing voices and they're violent or whatever. Yeah. They're mentally ill as well. There's that spectrum that covers everybody. And that sort of makes people who are in your position or anyone's position who seems to hear from the doctor or people around them that they're mentally ill or they've got anxiety, depression, OCD, all those things that are under that umbrella, it makes them almost hide from that reality.
Yeah. There is a spectrum. You're right. It's one end of the scale to the other, which and can be underneath that umbrella of mentally ill. It can be garden variety depression, and I'm reluctant to use the garden variety description, but and you can be moderately depressed. You can be a bit flat. You can be down. You can be a bit anxious. You can have some form of anxiety, some form of a mild panic attack, which might manifest itself like a sweaty palm or a heart rate's up a little bit, And so you're on the bottom end, if you like, of the spectrum of what we might call a mental health condition, right? At the far end, at the other end of that scale, you're talking psychosis and you're talking about the psychotic illnesses. You're talking about schizophrenia. You're talking about bipolar disorder. So, and where you are experiencing hallucinations, you are experiencing delusional behaviour, non-logical behaviour. And then you come back a little further, a bit back this way, and you might be manic, have manic episodes. Elevated mood. So you come a bit back towards the middle where your mood is up, right? So you're a bit more up than the next person might be. So you're a little bit more animated than the next person might be. You speak a bit faster than the next person might. You're not listening. You're only interested in hearing your own voice. And you think you know everything, right?
Sounds like me, yeah.
It sounds a lot like me all the time too. But we would call that manic or elevated mood. And then you come back to what we would call normal, which is in the middle, right? So you're not depressed, you're not manic, you're not psychotic, you're not suicidal, you're just good. Yeah. And so that's that spectrum you talk about.
I guess most people's lives, it ebbs and flows. There are periods of sadness, there are periods of adulation, all that type of stuff. People can naturally, and they're often quick to go off the mark and say, I'm depressed. But I guess depression and even with anxiety, a lot of people get anxious about really natural things. I get anxious before I go on stage, right? That's a natural thing to do. But when you're doing it, where I've experienced as well, sitting on the lounge, you're supposed to be relaxed, and being extremely anxious or mid-panic attack, that's not a natural thing. That's when the order of things are incorrect.